Hey everybody, how's it going? And welcome to a new series here on HNE called Annotated. So with Annotated, we'll explore the how, why, and explain behind some of the most popular, current, and upcoming film and television franchises. So with this installment of Annotated, we'll be focusing on Marvel, both the Marvel Cinematic Universe and also other aspects of Marvel, like Marvel TV, Sony's Marvel Universe as well, and talking about all those things, and a lot of it might be speculative at times, but the most important part is that we're kind of going into things, exploring concepts, and hopefully exploring new things together. But definitely let us know any ideas for future episodes for Marvel Annotated you'd like to see us do. And with all that said and done, let's get into it. When Guardians of the Galaxy was first released in 2014, audiences were introduced to a new landscape of cosmic adventures. It could have been seen in Thor and Thor the Dark World, yet the creative minds behind those films desired more of an Earth-based, grounded environment. And at one point, the most cosmic and alien world we had seen besides Asgard was actually Jotunheim, which was dark, barren, and basically a frozen wasteland. So enter Guardians of the Galaxy, which was an experimental and rather colorful film with a very unique approach that swung the MCU doors open to more colorful and daring cosmic adventures, which you could argue turned up to be Doctor Strange, Thor Ragnarok, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and, depending on your opinion on it, Captain Marvel. And so far since then, audiences have been shown Celestials, Elders of the Universe, the Nova Corps, and at the same time, we've received new mythology on the Infinity Stones, and as well Josh Brolin's first appearance as Thanos, which later on set the stage for the eventual Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. So with the second Guardians of the Galaxy, it was really awesome to see them build off of that, with more groundwork for things like Adam Warlock, Celestials still living around the universe, such as Ego the Living Planet, and just more things as well that we don't even know of yet. So with all that said and done, what is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 seen to set up for the cosmic MCU? And I think it might look like the High Evolutionary and Adam Warlock. So just a quick overview of both of those characters, more so High Evolutionary and Counter-Earth. The character history of the High Evolutionary is interesting to say the least, because a lot of people will probably recognize him from the TV series Spider-Man Unlimited. And the mainstream 616 universe version of the character was a student of Oxford University in the 1920s named Herbert Whitehead. And he was actually inspired by geneticist Nathan Essex, aka the X-Men's Mr. Sinister, who studied genetics and basically had the goal of unlocking genetic evolution while also mastering the practice of genetic and biological engineering. And he learned these secrets from actually an Inhuman named Fander, who was a member of the Inhumans Genetics Council responsible for conducting unethical experimentation on Inhumans undergoing teragenesis. Whitehead developed a serum for genetic alteration and even worked with Jonathan Drew, the father of future Spider-Woman Jessica Drew. Another fun fact about the character as well is that he mentored Miles Warren, who became the Spider-Man cloning villain known as the Jackal. And eventually, further down the line, he adopted the alias of the High Evolutionary as he became obsessed with evolving beings to their genetic potential, while also eliminating what he perceived to be genetic dead ends. And he created humanoid animals called New Men, and also a planet almost identical to Earth called Counter-Earth that those New Men eventually inhabited. So how does the High Evolutionary fit and really mesh with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and Rocket in particular? Well, in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, we'll likely see a new villain for the antagonist, since James Gunn already said Adam Warlock isn't the main villain of the film, and he argued he isn't a villain at all in the film. And following the recent trend of cosmic MCU films, another Elder of the Universe is likely to be introduced with a new obsession. And I think it's pretty fitting with the wackiness of James Gunn movies that a new take of the High Evolutionary would make a lot of sense. While the High Evolutionary isn't an elder within the mainstream comics, James Gunn has already showed that he really doesn't mind changing some things here and there. For example, Ego was never a Celestial in the comics, yet he was one in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So James Gunn, having said a lot of things about the film, did say it would focus on Rocket and his origins, something fitting as well with rumors of the High Evolutionary, since you could easily retcon that the creator of Rocket was a High Evolutionary, and you can make that half-world is also basically the same as Counter-Earth. And Lady Lila the Otter as well, who in the comics is Rocket's soulmate, has also been heavily rumored to appear as well. This could mark an interesting addition to the MCU, as a High Evolutionary could act as a backdoor pilot, if you will, to the genetic tampering across the universe for certain alien species, like how Celestials created basically mutants, and also created the Eternals and the Deviants, and at the same time the Kree experimenting on humanity to make the Inhumans. And this would actually mirror in some ways how the Collector was used to explain the Celestials and the other races in the past usage of the Power Stone during the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Another reason the High Evolutionary fits well with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is because the storyline of Adam Warlock is largely unresolved. In the second movie, a plotline was developed with Aisha and the Sovereign having a growing feud with the Guardians, and while unsuccessful in defeating the Guardians in the second movie, Aisha planned her revenge by the end of the film, stating that Adam Warlock will become their greatest weapon whenever they attack next. And while already created by Aisha as the next evolution of her species, which is a species, according to James Gunn, already gifted with genetic engineering, it'll be interesting to see how they merge the two, because in the comics, Adam Warlock was created as the perfect human in terms of evolutionary potential, and known primarily at that point as him, Adam Warlock was healed and received his actual proper name from the High Evolutionary, who essentially raised him from there to be a hero. So overall, I think the High Evolutionary's involvement makes a lot of sense, more so than any other cosmic character, because he can tie into the backstories of Adam Warlock, Rocket, and as well serve as a backdoor introduction to genetic engineering performed by other races in the galaxy. With his obsession as an elder of the universe, it can be stated that he's obsessed with creating a more perfect evolution of species than the Celestials, which in a way would be really interesting because I would be curious to see how he approaches someone like Peter Quill, who is a Celestial hybrid. And it would also be really respectful to the comic book motivations of the character, who at one point was in a self-competition with the Beyonders, even though they were always more superior. But leave your comments down below, what do you guys think about the High Evolutionary being the villain of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and who would you like to see play him? I, for one, would love to see Mark Hamill play him, just because Mark Hamill and James Gunn have tweeted back and forth about Mark Hamill appearing in a future Guardians movie in some role. But yeah, who do you guys think would be good for it, and why? And I'll see you guys later.